What's good? I wanted to make this video real quick before I shaved my face and get myself like shape up and actually comb my hair. For once, I've not combed my hair more than 2 times the entire summer. I don't have a good reasoning for it. I really don't. I don't care. I just don't care too much about it. Let it grow. And then it's a lot warmer when it snows, And some dudes are rocking like long hair right now. So I think it'll be cool to just see how long it could possibly get without it getting too like crazy. But I wanted to make one video before I shaved my hair. Well, not my hair. Sorry, not my hair. Shaped up my face. Not even shaving my beard. I'm just shaping up my beard and giving it a little bit more shape and form. Because it's getting really thick, especially the neck beard. When it grows in kind of like beady, So I'm just going to give it a little bit more shape and form. Make it look a little bit better. So I can make some different kind of content. There's a few different video concepts I want to work on that I can't do if I look scraggly and dusty. I have to look like somewhat competent and like I know what I'm talking about. I might even wear a shirt. I might just start working out more. I don't know. But literally one person looked at chapter 1 of Best Friends, and I think I was that one person. So I'm probably going to record a different audiobook. Not because I think Best Friends is a great book. It's probably one of the most no magic, no ability books that I have that I've ever made. So I'm not really too surprised. It is a prequel to Dr. Wonderlust. Not really a prequel, like Dr. Wonderlust is a sequel to Best Friends, because Chris is in that book as well. And I just released The Last Crusader, but everyone's here because of Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, let's be real. Those 1,000 views did not come from my own videos and content. So I feel like I'm still building my own audience. So I guess to get to 2,000 followers, I want to build 2,000 followers with my own content, with the things that I actually make and want to do and that I find creative and cool, and not so much for just my political beliefs or views of white people, but for my books. Though my views of white people are like in my books. I don't feel like I have negative extreme views of white people. I just feel that if you're a narcissistic psychopath or a narcissistic sociopath, then any form of criticism sounds like too much for you. And you're not going to be able to handle it, especially if you tell yourself you're the greatest thing on fucking earth. You leave yourself no room to grow. So I'm going to be working on books that I wrote recently that are, I guess you would call anti-racism books, social justice, warrior fiction, something of that nature. Not quite. I wouldn't really put it that far. There's no virtual signaling really going on inside of the books. They're just really good stories. But they're books that are tackling the issues of racism. So there's one book specifically that I have in mind that I'm really thinking about. It would be another new release, and I haven't really set things up properly to aggregate any new books. So this is probably going to be another Wattpad release, maybe my last Wattpad release, hopefully, and then we'll be moving on to getting back into the business of actually selling books. But right now I'm just creating. Right now I'm just making stuff. I'm just releasing whatever I kind of feel like releasing whenever I feel like releasing. And it feels good. It feels great. It reminds me of when I first got started. It's a lot different than when I first got started, because when I first got started, I had no idea what I was doing. So it's the same kind of feeling of just making books, releasing books. But they're way better than the stuff I used to make. because I have a completely different skill level now, a completely different understanding. And it really feels like I feel like a rookie. I really feel like I'm just starting for the first time. That you might spend 10 years drawing in elementary school or high school or something of that nature, but writing and drawing for money is a much different pursuit. It's a completely different standard. It's a completely different methodology. And, for a long time, people have been saying, oh, I dread marketing, I hate marketing. So I spent a lot of time like studying marketing and sales to realize, okay, well, marketing is just realizing where an audience is. It has absolutely nothing to do with how you actually communicate with an audience. And I've like definitely done a lot of damage myself with my interactions with people on the internet. I could have probably got a lot further ahead if I had a more agreeable and likable personality, but I'm not. I'm a dick. I'm like definitely like I wouldn't call myself a hothead necessarily, but I'm not afraid to call someone a fucking idiot. You know, I'm not afraid to argue with someone on the internet. Now, not so much. Not just because of negative experiences and having multiple accounts shut down. It's just not a good use of my time. It's just not really productive. It's just a really negative, icky feeling. Like I like that now I can open up my notifications, even though that there are still some like BS comments, of people like hazing me and taunting me and shit. There's a lot of people who like my comments. There's a lot of people that like what I post. I've definitely been putting in a lot of work to work on my public image and my reputation, which is something you could lose in 10 seconds. It's something you could literally lose overnight. But I've been doing everything I possibly could to just be the man I say I am and not pretend I'm not anybody else. I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm not trying to be perfect. But with my books and what I do and what I can create, I do aim for a form of perfection in that. But as a human being, as a person, I'm not. I'm not. That's exactly why I wear myself like I said. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. I am not pretending for nobody. Um, but with that, though, you create a lot of enemies. You create a lot of distance, a lot of animosity, because you're not going to bullshit people. You're going to tell them like it is, and you're going to be very honest with them. But being honest with someone doesn't mean you have to rip their heart out and step on it and take a shit out of it. Being honest with someone can be very gently telling them you can be better and what you're doing is beneath you. I expect more from you. So that's the conversation that I'm having with myself. I value and I appreciate the passion that you've had towards writing for this past decade. I appreciate your passion, but your financial acumen, your investing, your business acumen, and how you've decided to spend your time, it's beneath you and shameful at best. If you really wanted to be successful in what you were doing, you need to be very honest about what it's going to take to get there. And if you keep pretending and faking it, you're never going to get there. If you would rather feel busy than have completion, you're never going to get there. And if you focus so much on perfection that you never release anything at all, you're never going to get there. When you are willing to make the mistakes and learn from every single one of those mistakes, when you're willing to take the rejection and the negative feedback and the criticism, when you're willing to be the worst at something, to be terrible at something, while trying your absolute best and it still sucks, and you can admit it without trying to pad your ego and trying to lie to yourself about it, then you might get there. Because the way there is not easy. It is not paved in gold. It is not a yellow brick road. There are thorns and poison ivy and poison sumac on this road. It is glass on the ground. There are chestnuts on the ground. And most people are going to want to turn back. Most people are going to tell you it's too hard. Most people are going to try to make you fail to protect you. To protect you. Because of how dangerous and how hard it is down this road. And most people quit. But your passion over these years has shown me that nothing is going to make you quit. So what you need to do is to focus on exactly what needs to be done. Not what you want to do, not what you feel like doing. You must have the discipline now to do exactly what is needed. Not what you want to do, not what you feel like doing. And especially when you don't want to do it. Especially when you don't feel like doing it. You must do the right thing now. If you gotta write it down, if you gotta do it every day. Most people quit. Most people lie. Most people bullshit themselves. They do. But you have an opportunity that most people don't. Simply because you are willing to do the things that 99% of people are unwilling to do. And the foremost of those things that you need to do that 99% of people will not do is to be honest with yourself.